I guess it's another story time since I am remembering all the past, and I remember me and Mama and Daddy and the rest, and the kids. We would all get in Daddy's truck, and like I said, it was like a 1960s. Y'all know the old black Ford, the ones you couldn't destroy. It don't matter what you did. And about every Saturday afternoon, we get in the back of that truck, and it was can picking time. Can picking. That means we would drive all over our area and even a little further very slowly. And we would pick up every can we could find, every aluminum can we could find every Saturday. And reason being is that that's how we made our money. Then once about every month, uh, the kids and daddy would get out there and we would stomp cans. That was can stomping day, and it was an all day process. And I bet you we would have 300. Y'all know the big trash cans from back in the big trash bags from back in the day. You know what I'm talking about. The big old black ugly ones. They always smell funny. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We would probably have 500 bags of those, but in 1 or 2 days, we'd all have them ready to go. And those 500 bags would end up being about 100 bags, give or take, after they were crushed. Our legs would be so tired and so sore. But the part I remember the most is I hated going can picking. Because I didn't want my friends at school to think that I was that poor. But realistically, they already knew I was that poor. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have many friends in school anyway. We would ride down neighborhoods that my friends, what little bit of friends I had, would be in, and we'd pick up cans and whatever else we could find that was metal to take to the scrap yard to make a little bit of money. And and the bad thing about it, we wouldn't get very much. I think back in those days, it was like I want to say like 15 cents a pound. And if you know cans, it takes a lot of cans to make a pound, okay? But for us, that was like awesome. Yeah, that was like awesome. It was free money. We thought it was free, but realistically, by the time Daddy bought gas and all that stuff, and it really wasn't worth it, truthfully. But I think all of it was really based on it being family quality time. And it was something simple because, like, we didn't have like expensive toys. I didn't get my first computer, till I was like 16, 17 years old, because I think they came out when I was like 14, but we just couldn't afford it. And I didn't get my first cell phone till I was 24, 25. Yeah, I remember when the first cell phones came out. And they wasn't like what you got right now. Trust me, they were big old bulky with antennas. Then they came out with another version that was supposed to be pocket. You could put it in your pocket. By the time you flipped it out though and pulled the antenna, you done lost the whole call. Yeah, it was that. And and it was expensive to have one. Oh, it was expensive. It would cost you $700, $800 a month just to have a cell phone. Where it's not like that now. But yeah, I remember can picking day, and like I said, about once we got a like, I don't know, it's not really 500 bags, but I know that it was a lot, and we would spend like a day and a half stopping these things, and then later on in years, Daddy was good at designing things. Like he would take an old fan motor, or those big motors, those motors that's in these big industrial fans. He would take one of those and he would turn it into a can crusher. My dad was he was smart like that. Now I'll tell you that man could invent anything. I'll be honest with you. That man, I still have a shelf that he made, and it was the first time he had ever worked with wood. It's not pretty. I mean, it's cute, but it was his first one, so I got it and I kept it because I wanted it. And anyway, that man could invent some stuff. Because back in the day, you couldn't just go buy stuff. Not like it was now. Like, if you needed an incubator to hatch eggs, you made it. Or you let your animals do it. You made your own incubators. And there was no such thing as dishwashers. The only dishwasher you had was right and left. And I know y'all know what a dish drain is. Y'all know what I'm talking about, a dish drain? All my older ladies and all my older men, y'all know what a dish drain is. It's a thing that you put your dishes in after you done rinse them and everything. And they sit there for an hour, and then you gotta put them up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I still have one. It's the newer model of it, but I still have them. But yeah, I remember, and don't ever let mama catch you um, putting plate with food in the dishwater. Y'all remember, you get your high toe up about that shit. Like, that's why we got dogs. You need to put it in that bucket and go feed the dogs. Don't be ever putting that nasty stuff in my dishwater. You already putting nasty dishes in it. I don't know why she said nasty stuff. It was her plate. But that was just how things were back in those days. You know what I'm saying? And there wasn't a time that I don't remember getting peaches from somebody or getting pears from somebody to make jellies, jams, or even just to have peach or pear halves. We did it all ourselves. 90% of our food came from us growing it, hunting it for it, or fishing for it, or going to somebody that had something left over they didn't need that we picked ourselves. You know, I remember one lady that my mom knew that she worked with at the sewing plant, and she had like 5 fig trees, huge. And she said, "I done got all I need, Paulette. You come on and get all you want." I remember, it was so hot that day. My mama had us picking them figs. Now, I don't even like figs. I don't like anything with a furry leaf. I'll be honest with you. I barely pick okra because it itches me to death. But I have to wear protection to pick all this stuff, okay? And I remember that day. We stayed out there all day, and I think it was like late July, and it was like 103 degrees. And my mom was like, "Well, y'all keep picking. If you start to get dizzy, go get in the shade. I'll get you some ice water." You didn't have no Gatorade. We didn't have none of that. I don't know where y'all get all this stuff from, but we didn't have no Gatorade. We didn't have no Powerade. We didn't have none of that. You had Coke or Coke products. You had, and there wasn't very many choices of that. I know a lot of the older people will tell you there wasn't a lot of choices of that. You did have a thing called Bart's Root Beer. I don't know if it's still there. And you did have very few Pepsi products. And then you had water. And we didn't buy water. You either got it from the water hose, or you got it from the sink. We didn't have all this fancy filters and stuff in our water. We grew up drinking tap water, and we got it from anywhere we needed to get it. I'll be honest with you. I have drank water from streams. I have drank water from a lot of different things. You'd be surprised. And believe it or not, I've drank water in streams that my dad would tell me to get you some water out of that stream. The water, you know, they always say if the water is moving, then it's clean water. Well, I only did it because he told me to, but truthfully, now I know you got to boil your water before you drink it when it comes to them streams and them rivers and lakes. Because, you know, now these days, but back in those days, we didn't have all this pollution and stuff like that like we have now. And you didn't have all these people draining their sewage water into streams and stuff like they do now. You know what I'm saying? And it was way different there. And the bad thing about it, back in those days, and the people above 40 will tell you the air was even cleaner back in those days. Like, you just had so much more clean air, and everything was so much more simpler. Like, like I remember going to this. We have like a place here. It's called Artusa, and I know a lot of the people that are 40 and above. If you ever been there, you know that at Artusa they used to have a pier and a slide. Okay, and you walked out a pier, jumped in the pier, then you went over to the slide. The slide was built in with concrete and all that stuff like that, and that was the best time. It would cost like 25 cents a person to get in there. And we always saved what little bit of change we'd find, like going to stores. You know, people would drop their change. We'd save our change just to go there because that's the only way we could afford it. And we'd get on these slide and slide all the way down there when our booty cheek be burnt because that slide was silver and that sun was making it cook like a demon. Do you hear me? Now you ain't got all that.